Welcome back
Welcome back.
to the Value Proposition podcast.
Yeah, baby. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
episode 11. By the way, we've done very well to get here.
We're moving.
Yes, we are.
We're moving.
We're moving in the right direction.
Remember that logo we said we were going to
In
change?
Starbucks. We've
Never getting changed.
No chance. Well, why would we change it now? It's fucking brilliant.
I mean,
Look at it. It's so good.
We're already famous.
I know, yeah. I just want the viewers to know that we have had a TikTok, I think, 9,000 views.
9,800 views.
It's a 10,000.
So we're basically famous.
There's something basic about
And
it,
by the way, what were we talking about? Elon Musk.
we were.
Of course, we were obviously talking about him.
Obviously.
He's amazing.
He is. I love him. Very much.
How's your coffee treating you?
I just want McDonald's to know that you cannot make a fucking latte. This is horrendous. How's your coffee?
My coffees are good. So, how are you, Callum? How's things? How's tricks?
Oh, fucking so good, bud. I'm fucking electric.
In what sense?
The last.
Why are you electric?
Oh,
Tell
the
me
last 24 hours have been
The last 24 hours have been...
revolutionary, really.
We nearly solved the world problems
Oh no, I think we did.
Oh,
I
did
think
we?
I think we managed to cover that.
in Wonderbar
In Wonder Bar. Shout out to Wonder Bar. Thank you very much for all
for
that.
sponsoring the episode.
Yes, thank you for all that money
We just
spent.
still need to go back and get paid at some stage. Or get
Yeah,
my, or
we
get my
do,
money back.
Because I think I lost all my money last night. So
You lost it?
I think it's gone.
Oh, you spent it.
Well, I spent it. It's all gone now. I have negative 19 pounds in my bank account. I'm broke. Thank you. But I will say, overall, life couldn't be better.
I don't.
You don't? No, you don't. No, because I paid for everything.
Yeah.
I'm fucking rich, huh? You did pay for the Ubers. I appreciate that. But I think I'm gonna be sick.
So, imagine that the first...
Anyways, yeah, I think the last 24 hours have been really eye-opening for me in many, many ways.
In what sense?
Tons of ways, bud.
Why? You don't quite know, do you?
I know.
So is that the first time you've been to Wonderbar?
Yeah, it has.
Wonderbar's good,
was.
isn't it? I mean, for the audience, for the viewers, we went out in Glasgow last night, and
Successful mission.
it was Callum's first time in Wonderbar.
Yeah, I've never been before.
So I've been to Wonderbar a few times. Great
By
place,
the way,
live
the
music.
woman singing was, and it could be the fucking liquor talking at that stage. She was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, she was good.
I mean, she was
She
unreal.
was. No, she was good.
She was touching the heartstrings.
Wow.
I know. I don't need any more of that.
So, what
Yeah.
we've done now, I think the viewers, if we have any, probably know by now. We tend to book 2 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
This one, and then the next one. So this is number 11.
Yeah.
The next one that we're going to record after, I'm probably going to take my jacket off.
Yeah, I'll change
and
my
it'll
shirt.
look like a new episode.
I actually don't. I didn't bring an extra
You,
shirt. So it
you
doesn't
actually
matter.
put it in my bag, and I didn't take my bag. So we record 2
Yeah.
episodes at a time.
Yeah.
This is number 11. Then we'll do 12 afterwards.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere with that.
I'm waiting for the end of that, by the way.
So yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I know where I was going.
Okay.
So we have in the taxi. Oh, I was going to say cab. I've been spending too much time with you.
I know.
In the taxi on the way here, we decided that Callum would write the script for this episode,
Yeah.
and I will write the script
For the next
for
one.
the next episode.
Yeah.
So take it away, bud.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I just got a notification. It says
Grinder. All right, come on.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh boy. It says go to that place where you feel at home. I just want the audience to know that is exactly where I am on the value proposition. This is home for me.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Anyways, moving on.
So away we go.
So this is what I have. I want to talk about last night a little bit
Okay.
because I think we covered a lot of ground. Andy and I have aspirations out the ass.
Well,
It's an American
I mean,
term.
we're going to take the world over.
We confirmed last night that we will build something very special.
An empire.
An empire. And that was confirmed last night. I also want the audience to know that you're a shit dancer.
Oh, well, listen, I've never said I was a good dancer.
No. I also want to back up myself by saying I'm also a very shit dancer, but I love dancing. I'm not good at it. So I need to find, it's good that we have each other.
I always say this, right?
Yeah.
Like my dad tells me I'm a shit dancer all the time, and I said it's okay. I'm good at everything else. Oh man, you got to be bad at something, right?
Well, I mean, if that's the only thing you're bad at, life's pretty good. Yeah, no, I thought it was an exceptional evening for us.
So, what time did we?
I think we left about 3:30 to. I think we left about 3:30.
Well, it must close at like 3.
I think it closed at 3. But they didn't kick us out. I don't remember getting kicked out.
I'll be honest with you, I don't remember leaving.
No, I know that. But then we walked around Finiston for about, I don't know, an hour and a half.
Why?
I don't know. It wasn't an hour and a half. It was probably an hour. We didn't get back till about 4:30, 5 o'clock. That was a concern.
It was a good night.
It was fucking
We
brilliant.
had a great night.
Shout out to McDonald's again. We've been there twice. By the way, I never go to McDonald's. We've been there twice in the last fucking 12 hours. Sorry,
Never.
in the last 6 hours. Fucking hell. That's impressive.
Congrats, man.
All right, so yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was just a fucking
anyway,
great
all
time.
in all, Shower Wonder Bar, great night.
So good, so good. So I kind of wanted to start this off with a bit of a deep question. I figured this would be a fucking best time to do it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get the most out of me right now.
I know, I will. So,
Callum,
Andy, audience, I want to know what you value the most in the world that we live in. I want to get some deep insights from you.
what I value the most.
Yeah, what do you value? What are your values? What are your virtues? Tell me.
Relationships,
Tell me why.
in the general aspect.
Okay.
Now, and the reason I say relationships is because it can be classed as any category of relationship, as in friendships, family.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, I've realised that how important family is.
Yeah.
Like, especially over the last couple months.
Yeah.
And relationships, hugely underrated. And a lot of people take family and friendship for granted.
I agree with that.
Big time. And I think that it's so important that you keep the people that you love close, and you lean on them and you use them, and they lean on you and they use you, because
give and take.
it's irreplaceable.
I couldn't agree
It's
more.
irreplaceable. So one thing that I value most in relationships, and listen, it could be family, it could be friendship, it could be partner. Now I've not got a partner, but it could be partner. It could be in the workplace.
Yeah.
As
Colleagues, acquaintances, that's
colleagues, acquaintances,
Yeah.
clients, everything.
Yeah. I love that answer. I love that answer.
What did you expect me to say? Or did you expect
No,
me
I
to say
didn't really
anything?
have any expectations. I think I just wanted to know that piece of you. What do you value and why do you value
a
it?
lot of people will say success or money or
Oh, yeah.
time, but realistically, without all of them, without relationships, none of them really matter.
I think it's something that we talked about in another episode was, and maybe we didn't, and this is something that we should talk about, is when you get to your deathbed, what do most people wish for?
We talked about this. I said, now I watched a video of a guy, I think I mentioned it in one of the earlier episodes.
I think so.
There was a guy who had stood aside thousands of people's beds who were dying.
Yeah.
And they don't ask for the trophies or the accolades. They want to be with their family. They want to be with their friends. They want to be with their loved ones.
Yeah.
So I think that speaks volumes. As in,
I think it does.
I mean, and I'm bad for it as well. You know, we're both bad for it. Oh, I want to hit this target, this goal, whatever.
Yeah.
Realistically, at the end of the day, none of it really matters.
No.
It doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, none of it matters.
We put importance on it, and not necessarily that it is important.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a double-edged sword because I think that it needs to be looked at with importance.
Well, the thing is,
Otherwise,
sorry, you keep
otherwise,
going.
I mean, otherwise there's no motivation in life. So I
Yeah.
think that it needs to be looked at kind of double-edged sword. But at the end of the day, none of it really matters. I mean,
No.
it's all good and well going through the process, enjoying the process, hitting your targets, hitting your goals. But at the end of the day, it comes down to relationships.
Agreed.
Doesn't
And what I was going to say was, well, I completely forgot.
You,
Fucking hell.
I think I'm going to put out this advert for a new co-host.
Applications.
You've got to have a bit of banter. Hopefully, better than this guy's.
Fucking hell. Fucking bottom of the fucking barrel here.
But that was a great question.
Well, what I was going to, sorry, I know exactly what I was going to say. Just bear with me for a second.
Okay.
And what I was going to suggest was that the importance that we put on success or goals or whatever, that makes you into who you are as well. So the more we place importance on that, the more we kind of become the person that also is identified with relationship building and someone that cherishes those moments, because we realize the importance of both.
Yeah, and I think
That's why it's a double-edged sword for me.
Yeah, and I think at the same
they
time,
kind of help each other.
it kind of go, like you say, it goes hand in hand, because without noticing the fact that you need all these relationships in your life, you then wouldn't probably have the awareness that you need in order to be successful or be a good communicator or be motivated in the workplace. And I think that without the awareness of knowing that you need your friends, your family, your partner, if you've got a partner, I think that without knowing the fact that you need that in your life, I think it changes things.
How important do you think a partner is?
This is a great question, and it's something that I've kind of dabbled with over the last... Well, I've been single now for coming up to 4 years, I think. Either 3 or 4 years.
Scotland's most eligible bachelor.
Oh, jeez. However, I go back and forward on this one.
Okay, why?
And I like how you've asked me this question because I don't really talk about this much.
Spill the beans, baby.
So I'll be honest with you. I don't really see myself settling down.
Ever?
No,
Just
no,
soon.
not just now. I mean,
Okay.
we've talked about it in earlier episodes. Like, I've got stuff that I want to do. I've got targets that I want to hit. I've got aspirations that I want to.
Classy.
Lovely. Jeez.
I needed that, by the way. I fucking needed that. I still need it. I'm gonna get it back.
I've got targets I want to hit. I've got goals I want to hit. I've got aspirations I want to hit. I've got things I want to do.
Sure.
And I think that it would be selfish of me to bring somebody into that who maybe doesn't understand my thought process on what I'm doing, where I want to go, because both of us, we've not got much time in terms of to give to somebody else. And if I'm going to be with somebody, I want to be able to give them my all, and just now I just can't give them my all. And I would love to fall in love and settle down, but I just don't see it happening. I don't, which is, I mean, it's not a bad thing. No. I'm happy on my own. And one thing that I've found hard when I did have a partner. Now, I was with my ex-girlfriend for 3.5 years, and we lived together and everything. Yeah. One thing that I struggled with was almost the having to always, how would I put this?
Take your time.
You're essentially thinking about you and your partner all the time, and I just didn't feel like I was as productive as I could be. Yeah, because it takes up a lot more time than what it does when you're just focusing on yourself. For example, if you go, as in, now this is just a stupid example, but you're at work, you text your partner when you're at work all day. Yeah, it's other things that you could be doing, or you get home from work, to your partner. Why are you laughing? And I just
don't know.
I just want, at the time, I felt like I needed to be on my own so that I could focus on myself.
I don't know why it's funny to me. It's not funny.
But
Sorry.
I just don't think that I'm ready to give away half of myself. And I want to make sure I want to make sure that when I do eventually settle down, it's for one, with the right person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, and two, I need to be ready to give up half of myself, and I'm just not ready for that just now. Now, if it comes along, listen,
So that was my next question.
I could bump into somebody tomorrow and my thought process on that could change.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm happy being on my own. I like being on my own. I've got stuff I want to do. I don't want any distractions. So that's how my feelings are at the moment. But like I say, that could change tomorrow.
Do you have an idea of what that perfect person would be?
Yeah, I do. Not in terms of like looks or...
No. What they would do and how they would interact and be a part of your life. What are the qualities that you look for?
So I mean, I've said it.
This is important, by the way.
100%.
Because you have to have a bit of an idea as to what you're looking for.
This is strange you asked me this. So I nearly, maybe a year and a half ago, I was this close to going on a dating show. And I had to go through the whole process of matchmaking, what you want, what you're looking for in a partner. Yeah. So I actually learned a lot about myself going through that process. And
I imagine
I was a week out from filming and I decided that this wasn't for me and pulled the plug on it.
Wow.
So I was this close to going on this show. And throughout that process of matchmaking, I learned a lot about what I want from a partner. So one thing that's huge for me is I need somebody that I want us both to have our own lives.
Yeah.
And I want us to both have a life together. I don't think it has to be always intertwined.
Sure.
As in, I don't want them to rely on me too much, and I don't want to rely on them too much.
Yeah.
We can both be separate, we can both have our own lives, and then when we come together, great.
Yeah.
I think that it's transactional, and I want somebody that's going to aid me in my goals, and I'll aid them in their goals as well.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find that.
It is. I think that kind of suits you, though. What you just described, based off of what I know about you and how you are, that was kind of how I would describe someone for you as well, to be honest.
I think that all relationships need to be transactional, and if they're not, as in if they don't add something to your life and you don't add something to their life, then it's not destined to be great. It just isn't. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, as humans, we need to feel like we're getting something out of what we're doing.
Yeah, you have to see some value. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm in a very weird spot with this question, so I don't really know how to answer that.
Take it away.
Fuck.
What are you looking for in a partner?
So,
and do you think do you think that at this stage in your life that matters, or do you think you're all good at being on? No, people say to me all the time, "Oh, you're not lonely." I'm like, no, fuck no.
No, I mean, trust me, but fucking how much thought I have. And on my own, I have plenty of conversations to fulfill a day. I'm good. But it's something that I've thought a lot about for many years, not just 1 year. You know, it's like, okay, well, I've kept on this sort of trying to figure out what do I want to see in somebody that would, you know, be my partner for life. Yeah. Which is a crazy comment.
Which really is a fucking crazy comment.
Yeah, because it's for life.
It is for life, right? And that's probably the now we this is a business podcast, but we talk about business a lot. But that's the biggest business decision you can make
your life,
because that's the person that you're going to be with forever.
Yeah, and for me, I don't even know where to fucking begin. I have a lot of very deep thoughts. I'm a thinker, as you know, quite analytical. And so I think constantly about just life in general, because like studying philosophy taught me a lot about how to, for myself, how to think. Just like what do I value out of life? You know, I like sharing those comments with people. Not everyone can follow along with those conversations. Yeah. So for me, it's also having somebody that I can talk to that just follows along. Yeah. Like the values that I look for are simply like that's one of them. Like, just follow along with whatever the fuck I'm going to talk to you about.
Just listen to me.
I'm not fucking that self-absorbed.
No, but
it's
I think that you're absolutely spot on in the fact that a lot of females nowadays, or certainly the ones that I've always been attracted to, is I don't have good enough conversation.
No.
Maybe that could be due to the fact that I don't extract that well enough, but
sure.
I just don't feel like there's enough there.
Yeah, and I know that this is a business podcast focus, but this is a very important topic of conversation.
And this is the first time we've ever talked about it as well.
It is, and I'm really glad that we're having this discussion because it is so important to get this part right, and it's something that I've been guilty of many, many times, and I've written stuff about that, which we'll get into in a bit. But
stay tuned.
Stay tuned, baby. But there's the aspect of having the person, right? So in America, we always say that the first lady, the wife of the president, can typically be the one that kind of moves the needle and shifts the needle in a direction.
Yeah,
and that is not to be overlooked. That's real, and
100%.
They can do that. And it's very important that you find someone that also aligns with a lot of the things you want because they can shift the needle for you in one direction or another. I've been guilty of being in relationships where they move the needle for me in the complete fucking wrong direction.
Yeah, and that's why I say that they need to aid you in hitting your goals, and you need to also aid them in hitting their goals.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where 1 + 1 shouldn't equal 2.
No.
1 + 1 should equal 5 or 6 or 10. You should be with somebody that elevates you.
Shout out to the education system here.
But you know what I mean? I mean, you should be with somebody.
No, you're 100% right.
But realistically, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, you should be with somebody that elevates you, you elevate them, and you both aid each other in hitting your goals.
Yeah.
I always feel like sometimes in a relationship, now it's never really happened with me too much, but two people can almost be fighting against each other. And it's almost like you did this, you did this, you did this. Not how can I help you do what you need to do.
No.
I
think that's because people are selfish.
You said it spot on, at bickering. It's just silly things.
Yeah.
It's like, forget about all that. Look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You help me, I'll help you. We both help each other. And then that elevates both of us.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of those bickering comments are just projections.
I think, here's one for you. Social media.
Oh, fuck me. This will be good.
Social media and relationships nowadays. I mean, it's never realistically, if you look at like our grandparents and things.
Yeah.
I think social media, with the temptation of social media all over the place, is bad for relationships.
I think it's horrific. That's part of the reason why I don't fucking like it. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know if I have any. I don't know if I have any final conclusions on that. I haven't thought about that for long enough. But I've never liked the idea that your relationship is only valid if you do certain things on social media. Have you ever had? I've had that comment before.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
I
can I have some of
too.
that fucking coffee?
Of course.
Please? Fucking dying here.
Of course, but not only that. It's the whole temptation of seeing that. I mean, it's the whole jealousy thing. That was a big problem. And anyone I've ever seen, I mean, I've only had like 2 long-term girlfriends. I've only actually gone out with 2 girls.
Yeah.
I mean, I've dated.
Sure.
But I've always struggled with that, like the jealousy aspect. I mean, I'm not a jealous person.
Sure.
But I always feel like jealousy is huge.
I wouldn't say I'm jealous. I'm more possessive. In a fucking nice way.
Wow. Is that
no, really. I mean, no. Like, not. I'm not saying that it's a possession to keep, but there's a bit of like, we're on the fucking same team here.
Yeah,
like,
I get.
Don't
I get
undermine
that.
me
I get that.
in a way where I look like a fucking idiot.
But I think the jealousy
You know what
aspect, a lot of the time, is like when you're fighting against each other, and that's why I've not jumped into another. I mean, I've dated a couple of girls that I feel like I probably could have ended up in a relationship with, but I just don't feel like it would have been right for either of us. Why are you laughing?
Nope.
Anyway, let's
Not
move on.
going
We've
down
talked
that
about
road.
relationship for long enough. It's hurt
Yeah.
my head.
It's fucking brilliant. It's so important.
But it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can see Callum's boots. I think they're his mum's.
They are.
I mean, if they're
Shout
not
out
his
to
mums,
Cindy.
if they're not his mums, they've got to be his ex-girlfriends because they are horrendous.
Don't think her feet were this big.
Right, next thing. What you got? What you got?
All right, so we're gonna stick with the fucking deep questions.
Okay.
I want to discuss what flaws we don't like in ourselves
In ourselves.
and how would we like to change them.
So am I talking about my flaws? Or am I talking about your flaws? Because I mean,
I've got fucking plenty.
I've got plenty as well.
We've got fucking an hour's worth of content here. No, I want you to give me just one thing that you go, I don't fucking like that about me.
About you, me.
Yeah, give it. Yeah, or me. Either one. We don't have that much time, so stick to yourself.
No,
No, tell me
one
something.
thing that I don't like about myself.
Yeah. Tell me how it impacts you, and then tell me how you would like to change it.
You know, it's funny. It's like a job interview. And I remember when I was, geez, probably like
Thanks for that coffee, by the way.
18, 19. Job interview. I remember Googling
Yeah.
because I knew that somebody would ask me that question. What's one flaw or what's one thing that you feel like you need improvement on?
Sure.
It's all like
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist, blah, blah, blah. It's like, fuck off. But one thing that I feel like I need improvement on.
Yeah.
Again, this is probably a double-edged sword as well because it's probably relationship, as in partner.
Sure.
I don't feel like I'm good at that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm good at that at all. I know I feel like we've talked about this for the past fucking half an hour, but I feel like when it gets to that stage of, okay, let's do this, I'm like, no.
Yeah. I'm pretty much an all-in kind of guy.
I'm the same. If I'm going to be with you, I'm going to be with you.
I am ready for that, but I also have previously found it very difficult to find somebody that I can go.
Well, what about in a business aspect?
There you
Where would you say your drawback is?
Way too idealistic. I have this sort of, I live in like fucking fairyland.
I was going to say, so mine is like
Yeah.
delusional.
Yeah.
It's like you always, I feel like I would probably be more efficient if I was more realistic, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same. I like living in my own head a lot of the time. Sometimes I probably create a lot of my own demise by doing so. But, you know, it's something that I would improve on. How would I improve that? That's a fucking good question.
Here's a question. Here's a good question for
okay.
you. Do you ever think you'll be satisfied?
No.
But
Not work-wise. Not work-wise. I think the rest of my life, yeah, I think I'll be okay in the rest of my life. But work-wise, I don't know because there are so many things that I tell myself all the time that I want to accomplish. I don't know if I'll ever have enough time.
well, the needle moves all the time. Now,
Ooh,
somebody asked me.
I like
Somebody asked me not that long ago. Like, when does it stop? I'm like, it's a sad thing to think about because it
Yeah.
really never stops.
No.
And I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. You know, I actually wish that I could sit here and say to you, now we're both in pretty good spots just now. I wish I could sit here and say, this is great. Now it is great, but
Yeah, there's a lot
it's
of work
not
to
enough. It's just,
No.
and will it ever be enough? And you know what I think is enough in my head just now, in 10 years' time, it's not going to be enough.
do. No.
You know, the needle always moves.
It does.
The closer you get to the needle, it moves.
moves.
Then you get
Yeah.
close to it and it moves. And it's quite a sad reality because I'll never be satisfied. And I know that for a fact. And I've kind of made peace with that now. It's something I've thought about a lot is I'll never be satisfied.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a shame because I mean I've got friends and family members who are happy going to work, going their 9 to 5. They come home, they've got their family, they've got their kids, and they have a great life and they're happy.
Yeah, I've never. I worked a 9 to 5. I worked for 2 weeks. I don't know if I ever told you this story. For 2 weeks, I worked at a place. It was a recruitment job, basically. That's
Oh.
how you guys would probably call it over here, where you would do placement, and it was for like nurses and doctors and blah blah blah. And you would sit on the phone and you would work you would either work on the placement or like the moving of somebody, one of the two departments. There was a couple more departments, but I chose to thank you. This is fucking so needed. Yeah, but you would work in one of the two departments. And then I remember going in and doing the interview and crushing it because I spoke about golf. Shocker. That was like that's like the easiest way for me to get a conversation going. Like, do you play golf? And then they go, fucking, oh yeah, I fucking did this. And then of course, I never did all the things that he did. I just pretended like I did.
Yeah,
and
of course,
we fucking, you know? And anyway, so 2 weeks into the job, I remember going up to the owner of the franchise. And I was like, I actually don't know what I'm talking about anymore. That's not what I told him. I genuinely forgot. Hold on. Fuck me.
You're really not good at this.
No, and I remember. So I went up to him and I asked him, can I make $1 million every year out of this job? And he said, no. And I said, I'm leaving.
When was this?
This is fucking 4 years ago.
Yeah, but like how long into the job were you?
2 weeks. I remember because there was part of the training was to understand the actual business itself. And I said, is there a job in this building that I could make $1 million a year from? And he said, no. And I said, I'm fucking out of here.
The thing is,
I also forgot what the point of that was.
And you just made the point
But
of it.
I think I
but
made
a
it.
9 to 5 salary is. I mean, I just started reading another book, or listening to another
Mr.
book.
Advance over here.
It's
What's
great
it called?
book, by the way. Mark Cubin, called The Sport of Business. And it's not, and he openly says it. He's not ready to write a book yet. So what he's done, because he's not finished, as in he's not finished life, he's not finished business, so he's not ready to write a book yet. But what he has done is like 14 of his best blogs. He's like refined and put out there, and it's like 14 chapters. It's kind of 14 short stories, and it's fucking awesome. Like he compares business to sport massively. So like for us, it's super interesting. You would love it.
Yeah.
You would love it.
I want to read
and
this.
he was talking about like people go, and I said this to your dad last night. Like people go to work in a job they hate. They work a 9 to 5 for a salary to pay for a house that they want.
Yep.
As in, oh, I need a bigger house, so I better go to this job that I hate.
Yeah.
You spend more time at your work than you do in your house.
Yeah.
Why are you doing a job that you hate to pay for a house that's too big for what you need anyway?
Yeah.
It's like you spend more time at work, get a job that you enjoy, and downsize on the house and actually enjoy life.
Yeah.
He talked about that a lot. He was like, America's flawed, because he's obviously American, so he talks about America, and he's like, America's flawed in the fact that people, but the UK is the same. People
Very
go
much
to a
the
9
same.
to 5 that they hate just to make a salary to pay for a house that they don't actually need, a house the size that they don't need. It's always like a bigger house, a better car. That's what everyone's always chasing. And it was interesting to get his perspective on it. But one thing that he talks about a lot as well is, and I love it, is comparing business and sport. And he's like, business is the best sport that there is.
Yeah.
You never have to retire. It's a long, you're in it for the long game.
Yeah.
It's constant battle. There's always somebody bigger. There's always somebody better. There's always somebody stronger. There's always somebody with more money.
Yeah.
And you would love that book. You need to read it. You need to read it. It's called How to Win in the Sport of Business. Mark Cubin.
I'm going to read that.
Great book. And it's short as well. It's like 100 pages, something like that.
Fucking ideal.
Yeah. You'd love it.
I'm very excited.
And the thing is, it's not like a book format in that you need to read chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. You could
can
look.
start
You could look
anyway.
through. You could look through like the contents page and be like, "Well, I want to read about that blog," and
Yeah.
it's like comparing business to sport, or you could read about. There's I think there's 12 or 14 chapters, but you would love it.
I'm excited. I'm gonna fucking buy that in the airport when I leave.
Yeah, you should. Honestly, I don't know if it'll be in the airport. It's not a book,
or I'll just download it on my on my
or
phone
Audible.
or something.
It's essentially like his. So he actually says in the start of the book that he's not ready to write a book yet. He's not finished.
Yeah.
As in business. So he doesn't feel like he's ready to write a book because he's not learned everything he needs to learn.
Sure.
But he's like, he used to write a lot of blog posts.
Yeah.
And he's basically gone into his 12 or 14, I can't remember how many it is, most popular blog posts, and he's proper nailed them down.
Fuck yeah.
And he's put them in a book, and it's fucking awesome.
Speaking
really
of books, I'm about 3/4 done with my book.
So this isn't. We've not talked about this on the podcast yet. However, he's writing a book.
I am. I'm writing a book for my target audience. With this is very particular. It's people in their 20s, and part of this stemmed from many things. What does it mean for me to be a 26-year-old in today's world? What have I learned? I've been exposed to a ton of information since I was a kid.
Yep.
And I wanted to think about something that I could relate to people our age or younger, how to navigate your 20s. Because as we know, you want to be a millionaire when you're 20. And then when you're 30, you want to be fucking 20, right?
Yeah.
But how do you successfully navigate being 20 years old till you're 30? And it is the most difficult and challenging time. It can be the most exciting time. I wanted to write something about that.
I think that especially nowadays as well, with social media, and you see that everyone's a millionaire. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone looks rich.
Oh, yeah.
If everyone walked about with their bank balance on their head, it would be a different story. But not unfortunately, but that isn't the case.
No.
And I think that comparison is the thief of joy.
That's a very nice quote.
And far too many people look at other people and say, oh, wouldn't it be great if I had this, or if I had that, or if I looked like that, or if I, and it's like, just be happy with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that we talked about it in one of the latter episodes. Happiness is what my definition of happiness was: doing things you love with the people you love, but also peace.
Yeah. And
you need to make peace with who you are and what you do and how you do things in order to feel happy. And I think that navigating your 20s is a time when you really need to be thinking about that. Yeah. What do you want from life?
Yeah, being in your 20s is very volatile. I mean, it's so up and down. There's a lack of consistency that you don't get until you're in your 30s.
Well, it's like, do I drink? Do I focus on business?
Yeah,
do I go out and enjoy myself?
Just go chase women all day?
You only live once.
You know,
there's so many things. It's like, I mean, I remember when I was in my early 20s, I'm like, I remember sitting thinking to myself, like, what do I want to do here? Like, I hadn't found real estate yet, and I'm like, what do I want to do here? And one week I'm like, fuck it, I'm only 20, I've got loads of time, and the next week I'm like, shit, I'm getting on a bit, and I need to decide what I want to do in my life. Yeah. And then you think, well, fuck, I'm only 20, I just
fucking figure it out.
And you kind of flip flop between, I'm in my 20s, but your 20s is like crucial in the fact that if you want to get a head start on everyone else, your 20s is the time to do it.
It is.
So it's like, okay, you only live once and you can go out whenever you want and this and that in your 20s. But realistically, if you want to get a head start on everyone, your 20s is the time to do it.
It is. And I've kind of outlined a lot of that in the book itself.
And by the way, I've not seen any of this book. I've not read any of this book, so I'm excited for it.
No, it's gonna be. I mean, look, none of the things I say are original. Like, a lot of the things I've said are not. Oh my god, this is fucking groundbreaking.
Revolutionize.
No, I've not revolutionized.
Revolutionize your 20s. That's the title.
That's gonna be the fucking working title for now. What I've tried to do is make things that are seemingly obvious relatable. a lot of details about my personal life as well, which are very interesting, I'm sure. And a lot of people read that and go, "This is a fucking load of shit." And like, that's fine. Don't read it.
But
I
that's
don't
okay.
fucking care.
You know,
The book will find the person it's meant for.
Yeah.
And the person that it's meant for is exactly the person I already described. It's how am I going to navigate my 20s? Who am I supposed to be? Which is a question I struggle with all the time.
you and
I
me
think
both.
about it all the time.
You and me both.
And I think I have a better idea now than I did when I was 20.
So, what's the biggest takeaway that you've learned from writing the book?
The biggest takeaway was, wow, I don't know which one I want to go with. Discovering who I really am, I think. Yeah, that's a fucking bold statement.
And who is that? Or what is that? How does that look?
I realized that I am a person. And thank you. That's fucking insightful. I am capable of creating my own demise very easily. Recognizing that and then trying to figure out ways to avoid that, improvement areas,
Yeah.
has been the most important thing that I've ever done. And then also thinking about all of the lessons that I've learned from people in different ways, whether it be my mother, my father. There's a guy in the book, his name is Way Ishmael.
And that's his actual name.
His
real
name is W-A-Y. Way.
And this is a real guy.
This is a fucking real guy.
Oh, wow.
But he's in,
Shout out.
shout out to this guy. He's so fucking cool. He's the coolest guy I've ever met to this day. He had this like spiritual fucking awakening kind of fucking vibe, and he was just awesome. And he taught me so much in a short amount of time.
How long did you spend with this guy?
I probably spent two years with this guy.
Oh, wow. So
I met him through golf.
Okay.
And
Good golfer.
Yeah, he's a great golfer.
Better than you?
At that time, yeah. I was 14. Fuck you.
Oh. You suck.
I know. I'm terrible. But we met through
No,
golf.
just so people know, Callum is fucking good at golf.
Thank you. He's never said that before. Now it's on
No,
video.
he's good at golf. What do you play off of, like
+3.
plus 3?
Yeah, I'm a baller, bro.
You're a baller when it comes to golf.
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
But you've got a shit personality.
I know. Fuck, it's horrible.
Snap.
Fuck. All my shortcomings.
But no, you're fucking good at golf. I've never
I am.
seen. Now
I'm
I've been, just to big up you a bit here.
Fucking love this.
I've been and watched all the pros, like
Yeah.
you know, at the Open or whatever in Carnoustie, St Andrews. You hit the ball better than most of these guys. Like, as in, you hit it harder, and it's like, I remember the first time I saw you hit a golf ball, I was like, holy shit. Like, it's fucking
that's a nice
pretty
compliment.
mad. It is
That's
mad.
a fucking nice compliment.
It is mad. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
carry on.
Way Ishmael.
Way Ishmael.
Yeah, the lesson that he taught me was very important. I don't want to spoil everything in the
Of
book.
course.
But
Buy the book.
Buy the book. On sale.
It's only £200.
What's this? What's
wait
the
a
book story? What's the book called? Waterstones?
Waterstones, yeah.
Yeah. Waterstones and Barnes and Noble.
I was going to say
near you.
Weatherspoons.
Weatherspoons. Oh boy. Yeah, but the lessons that I've tried to take away from also my parents. Your parents teach you a ton of shit about who you might want to be.
That is the biggest.
But they also show you things that you might not want to be. Like, there are things in my parents that I would never want to do or never want to become. But they're lessons. All of them are lessons. And I love that. I love that about people.
It's almost
The good
like,
and the bad.
as the generations come down, if the son or the daughter or the child is switched on enough, as the generations come down, you can refine
Yeah.
and refine and refine and refine.
Yeah.
You know, because you can take the best aspect. Now, for example, I look at my grandparents, whether it be my dad's mum and dad, and or my mum's mum and dad, and you look at the aspects that they all have. My stepdad, my mum, my dad, my grandparents, and you can almost take or look at and take the best aspects of everyone and try and mold that into yourself.
Yeah. It's great. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that part. Anyways, yeah, stay tuned for the fucking book. Let's move on. Overrated, underrated.
Oh wow!
Our fucking favorite segment. I love this.
I love overrated, underrated.
I wrote this on the taxi ride over.
So you're gonna ask me, and I'm gonna ask you in the next one.
Okay, yeah, that's great. All right, we're gonna start off Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse overrated. Disney's overrated
Yeah, fuck Disney, by the way.
in the grand scheme of things.
Love.
I think it's rated about right.
That seems fair. Benson Boone.
Underrated. He is good, by the way.
Fucking unbelievable.
I think he's
We
good.
were listening to that in the car yesterday, and I was like, his voice is so good.
Yeah, he's. We can talk
So
about
good.
him.
I wrote Truth for some reason.
It's rated right.
Okay, I thought so. Little/Aldi.
Underrated. That's mad because I've written that in mine as well.
No, you did not.
I did. We must have drove past it in the taxi.
We did.
But that's underrated.
Yeah.
Great shop. That's where I buy all my food.
I love it. Shout out. Kiwi.
Rated right.
Maroon 5.
Underrated. Adam Levine. I've actually been told many times that I look like Adam Levine.
No, you do.
I don't know. People have actually, honestly,
Really?
people have said it to me before. I don't see it myself, but people have said it
I
to me
kind of get
before.
it. I kind of see it.
That and David Beckham, I get.
Okay, that's just fucking.
Who's your celebrity?
Come on, man.
Let's talk about that after.
Fuck right off with the fucking last one. Public transportation.
Underrated.
Chris Williamson.
So underrated.
Agreed.
I think that is the best. We can talk about that after. I think that's the best podcast out there.
Glasgow. Careful.
Underrated. Underrated.
Especially the nightlife.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's talk about who the fuck you look like as a celebrity. The one I get recognized with the most is Brad Pitt. You know who I get all the time is actually Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
I see that.
yeah, I get that all the time. Especially when I was working at the bar, people would go, "You know who you look like?" And I would go, "Tell me."
You actually do.
And they go, "Jake Gyllenhaal."
You
and
do.
I'd be like, "I do look
But
like
he's
him."
way better looking. You look
I
a
know.
disabled Jake Gyllenhaal.
I know because disabled younger brother. Other than that, we're fucking just the same.
But
There's no way you get David Beckham, by the way.
honestly, I do.
No, you don't. You don't look anything like the guy.
My gran told me I do.
Dude, just because you're
I'm
grand,
joking.
okay.
But I get Adam Levine. When I had shorter hair, my hair's a bit
See,
longer
I get
now.
the Adam Levine one.
My hair's a bit longer now.
You also look, I mean, like physically, stature-wise, you look almost identical to him. You're about the same height, same build.
But honestly, I've had David Beckham a couple of times. I have.
Yeah, I mean, you could have like a second career as like a band, you know? Like, you know how they do like the ABBA stuff where they have like the performers that pretend to be ABBA, but they're not? I forgot what they're called. I'm too hungover for this. What's the fucking term, man? It's a certain type of band. I'm not letting
Yeah,
this
I know.
go.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm not letting it go until we fucking figure it out. I don't care.
I know what you mean. Let's move on.
Fuck you. Chris Williamson, give me your fucking.
So I
Top
think
hits.
his podcast is fantastic.
I watch it like the gospel.
Yeah, I'm the same. He has such a great way of extracting information and knowledge from people. That
Agreed.
I mean, I used to really like the Diary of a CEO podcast with
Yeah, I like him.
Stephen Bartlett.
Yep. He's good.
I'll be honest with you, I still do like the Diary of a CEO podcast, but Chris Williamson Modern Wisdom podcast just blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
The questions that he asks and the information he's able to extract from people is just unbelievable.
My favorite. What's your favorite episode that you've watched so
My
far?
favorite episode is the one where he goes through. It's like 27 truths or something with Alex Hormozy, and he
Yeah.
goes through 20. I think it's like X amount of tweets that Alex Hormozy's tweeted, and Alex Hormozy breaks down the tweets, and they discuss each individual tweet or each individual kind of motivational quote that he's tweeted, and it's great because each point is short enough that you don't get bored listening to it,
Yeah.
but it's long enough that you're able to take information away from, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it is. My favorite one. This won't come as much of a surprise to you.
Matthew McConaughey,
He's probably number 2.
that one was good. That's probably
That
my number
was
2 as well.
Really, really good. My favorite is Jordan Peterson. The second one.
Was it?
Yeah, I think they've done 2. My second
Yeah,
one.
they have done too. My issue with anything that Jordan Peterson does
I think we've talked about this part before.
is he's just so smart.
I know.
And he, talk about somebody's brain moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I think that he is a really impressive human being.
Yeah.
In the fact that, have you watched him debate? Have you ever watched him debate with anyone? I mean, it is
like a fucking wizard.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
By the way, you mentioned the speed and thought that he has, right? He said in that podcast, it's very funny that you mentioned this. He said that the fastest thinkers are comedians. He referenced a conversation that he had with Jimmy Carr, and he said they think like their sort of like verbal fluency is off the charts. They just think so much faster than we do as regular people. Like most verbal fluency tests, you're supposed to get like 30 seconds and you get 10 to 15 words. These guys will be doing 25 words, which doesn't sound like a massive difference. But if you've ever tried a verbal fluency test, do it.
I've never even heard of it.
Okay, so a verbal this is fucking, we should do it actually on the podcast. It would be fucking hilarious. So you get 30 seconds, set a timer, 30 seconds, and you have to write every word that starts with the letter B that you can think of.
I'm dyslexic. I'd be terrible at that.
You would be. But the other thing that you would probably want to do is like list every animal that you can think of in 30 seconds, or list every fruit that you can think of in 30 seconds. So you do both of those, and then you find some sort of an average. Like you're going to fall between 10 and 15 more often than not. You might say you won't do good, but you will. Yeah, that's a fucking good one. But these guys are 20 to 25 words within 30 seconds.
And what is your average guy or your average person?
10 to 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why is that? What do you put that down to?
I think some people are just really, really fucking intelligent. And I think people are able to think and speak simultaneously, especially comedians, especially a guy like Jimmy Carr or, I don't know. Let me think of another. Ricky Gervais.
But with Jordan Peterson,
it's natural.
I started. So you're reading his book. Are you still reading his book?
I am.
Are you finished it yet?
No.
So I started reading his book, and it was almost like too hard of a read.
Yeah.
As in, and I told you that, right?
Yeah.
It's like the book didn't flow well for me because I couldn't like read it. It's just so it happened to me with. Have you ever read The Richest Man in Babylon?
No.
So your dad actually recommended me the book.
Yeah.
The Richest Man in Babylon. I read the first probably 50 pages. I had to put it down. It took me too long. In it's all in like old English.
Okay.
It's almost written like a poem.
Wow.
And it's just a hard read.
Yeah.
But the Jordan Peterson book was the same for me.
Yeah.
Now I like reading one book that I've been reading recently is called Drive.
Okay.
I think the guy's name's Daniel Pink. And it's about motivation. Okay. What drives humans. Yeah. And it's interesting.
That sounds interesting.
It's about where humans get motivation from. So they did a study, for example, right, on chimpanzees. They put them in a cage. To get out the cage, they had to unlock the cage. So that was like they had to open up the lock, slide the thing across, and push themselves out.
Yeah.
When there was nothing rewarded, they did it faster than if there was a reward. And it talks about like the difference between intrinsic and external motivation, or intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And it's good. You would enjoy it.
I would like that.
You would enjoy it. I listened to it when I was on my way to Glasgow yesterday.
Actually, I forget what the book's called, but there's a book that is about, it compares like animals and the behaviors that they choose to do, all about sort of motivation. And sort of like the most intelligent animals and what they do especially. I don't know where I'm going with this.
In this book, for example, it talks about like way back when, if you were to give a guy a horse and cart and say to him, you are going to go from the bottom of Scotland, the top of Scotland to the bottom of England, and you didn't pay him a penny, as in he paid for it, he would see it as a luxury. But if you said to him, you're going to go from there to there, and you paid him, it would then be a job.
Yeah.
And it breaks down the kind of psychology behind motivation and what motivates humans. As in, if you're getting paid to do something, it's then work.
Yeah.
If you're just doing it out of, for example, one of the big things was it talks about encyclopedias. Now I don't know if you know this, but in like 1996 or something to 2006, Microsoft, one of the biggest companies on the planet, spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to build an encyclopedia. Its biggest competitor was another one. Now, Microsoft pumped all this money into this encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was totally free, as in volunteers and everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was?
No.
Wikipedia. Wikipedia blew Microsoft's encyclopedia out of the water. Nobody gets paid. Not a single person gets paid for Wikipedia.
No.
Why is that? Why is Wikipedia the better encyclopedia when Microsoft had all this amount of money to invest into an encyclopedia?
So the volunteer based.
Yeah. And
Does
it,
better.
and it talks about, like, it doesn't just talk about the encyclopedia, it talks about loads of different things.
Yeah.
This book. And it's interesting. You like it.
It's another one for me to read.
Yeah.
I think you've added two or three more books
Well,
to my
actually,
fucking portfolio
from the
here.
last episode we did, you gave a couple of book recommendations, and I started reading one of them.
Yeah, you did.
The Psychology of Money.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's an easy read.
Yeah, that is an easy read.
That's an easy read.
I read 25
important.
pages.
All right. My last segment of the day.
I know. Wow, this has gone fast.
Yeah, this has been really enjoyable for me.
Relationships.
Yeah, we've covered the fucking ground here.
What are we going to title this one?
Don't know.
Relationships has got to be one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you don't need to worry about that anyway. You just show up and talk.
Yeah.
I do all the work.
No, I know. We have a good thing going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I have a good thing going. Well, my last segment will be this or that. I came up with this in the fucking taxi because I'm a genius.
Oh, yeah, original.
Thank you. Here we go.
Okay.
Glasgow or Edinburgh?
Glasgow.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
New York or London?
New York, every day of the week.
Ooh, we disagree
I love New
fundamentally
York.
on that one. Train or plane?
Plane.
Walk or run?
Walk. I'm unfit just now.
Phone call or text?
Oh, phone call every day of the week.
Agreed. Rolex or Tag?
Rolex. Silly question.
Ferrari or Lambo?
Ferrari.
That's it.
Oh,
Ferrari.
Have you seen that?
Beat stop. Don't know.
Let's talk about some of them. You
Okay.
asked one at the start.
Glasgow.
Glasgow or Edinburgh. So,
Yeah.
before I met you and your dad and
Yeah.
spent time in Glasgow, Edinburgh every day of the week. Now that I've spent time in Glasgow, I feel like Glasgow's got
changing
more
you.
to offer than Edinburgh does.
I think we talked
Edinburgh's
about that yesterday.
lovely, as in architecture. Glasgow's got more going on. I think that Glasgow's better for a younger person.
Yeah.
As in, if I was probably in my 40s or 50s, I would live in Edinburgh. If I was our age, Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I agree with that.
But I spend a lot of time in Glasgow, you know.
Yeah.
I'm probably here like a day a week
Yeah.
now.
No, I mean, I enjoy Glasgow. There's a lot of things that I don't like, but most of it I do.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference that you see living in Glasgow compared to Florida?
Lack of optimism.
Let's save that for the next episode, literally. Because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about
That
this.
drives me fucking nuts.
Nobody wants to see anyone do well in Scotland. Anyway,
Stay tuned.
stick around for the next episode.
Yeah. Wait a week.
Do you want to leave on a thought? Have you got a thought?
No.
You've not?
No, hold on. I can fucking easily find one. Bear with me, folks.
I mean, I can't believe you just compared Rolex to Tag.
I was I wasn't comparing it. I was simply offering it as a discussion point.
Man,
Here we go.
okay.
Don't let people, jobs, and feelings keep you from pursuing something greater.
I love this. So this comes down to not caring what
You know
anyone
who said
thinks
that?
about you. Who?
Me.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you think about that?
Yeah.
What was
It's
what
in
was
my
it
book.
again? It's in your book.
Yeah.
We forgot to do that.
Next time.
Next episode.
Next
We've got, what else did we say we were going to cover?
No idea. Something about optimism.
Oh, Scotland. The
Yeah.
mentality of
Anyway,
Scottish.
but fucking focus on that. Come
Say it again.
on. Okay.
Don't let people, feelings, or thoughts.
Don't let people, jobs, and feelings keep you from pursuing something
But,
greater.
yeah, but this can actually tie into like Scotland as a whole. Is that people care too much about what other people think.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, whether that be relationship, friendship, love, business, life, anything, job, people care too much about what other people think,
Yeah.
and they allow that to cloud their vision and change their thought process on what they want to do.
That is so well said. I love that.
Do you agree?
No, I agree 100%.
Like,
That's
it's
kind of
like,
my
so
point, actually. I know I'm reading a bit of a fucking paragraph for you, but
do what you want to do and do it with conviction.
that's the key. Conviction.
Conviction.
I have
is the
nothing
key.
else to fucking add. I think that's wonderful.
Awesome.
Andy, it's
Callum,
been fucking lovely.
I can't believe that was an hour.
I don't even feel hungover anymore.
No.
I'm so mentally
I've
stimulated.
never actually. I didn't feel hungover. I think I was still a bit drunk when I woke up.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah.
But
We got 3 hours of sleep.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, I feel like this was quite a selfish episode because I don't even feel like I looked at the camera once.
No.
I feel like I just. Oh yeah, baby.
Looking in my eyes.
No, but I feel like I got a lot out. I mean, I've not talked about relationships for. I don't think I've ever talked about relationships out loud.
I think it's important for us
something
to
that I've thought
talk about these things, just for our own well-being, because, part of this podcast, sorry guys, is to be a little bit selfish, and I want to know a ton about you, just like you want to know about me.
Yeah.
And, these all add up to what we want to achieve in life, and being, the successful businessman that we want to be. All of these things will have impact on our lives. So it's good that we talk about it.
Yeah,
now.
no, and I think relationships, I mean, that can make or break you in life and business.
Yeah, 100%.
Generally speaking, your relationship with the person you decide to be with for the rest of your life will make or break you.
Yeah.
So I think that it's huge, and and I didn't expect to talk about it. I mean, you wrote this episode out yourself.
I did.
I'm writing the next one out, so it's going to be way better.
Obviously,
No, I'm
he's so fucking intelligent. Fucking 135 IQ, baby.
Wait a minute, 136 actually.
fuck
You were 135.
Whatever.
Or you were 134.
I thought you were 135. I was 134.
I was anyway.
By the way, we're
I'm
losing
one above
IQ
you,
points
anyway.
having this discussion.
But I think it's a massive thing that needs to be talked about, and I think it's overlooked. I think people just settle too fast.
Yes, I agree with
Something I definitely will not do is just settle.
No.
Anyway, Callum,
Andy.
it's been a fucking
This
pleasure,
has been
my
fucking
man.
fantastic.
This has been a great episode. For
I love
me,
this.
this has been a great episode.
I've enjoyed this.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you. Audience, we'll see you next week.
I'll see you in an hour or 5.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. That was lovely.
That was good fun.
I like that. That was good, bud.
I need it done.
Okay. Hurry back. Oh, fantastic. Fucking brilliant. Things are going well.